We love the Beamers, the Benz, the Porsches. All of my fans, I know they're supporting. Style with nothing but look at us now.
Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a crazy episode because we're about to break the internet. You know, I always say, make sure you subscribe because coming up, I've got so many things coming up. Oh, this is one of those things. I've just teamed up with one of the biggest YouTubers in the UK and we're gonna be, actually, let me show you. I've just linked up with no other than
full tank full of gas leak. We on grease like Vaseline. Twin turbo, that's tag team. Drag race, no drag me. Swear. Now then. 2JZ, yo!
Ricky has just dropped off his project car, Salvage Nation. We're going to be getting started with it. There's tons of stuff to do. So first off, let me show you the car, show you the plan, and tell me if you're not excited, because I am. So this is Ricky's 2013 pre-facelift BMW 114i. And over the next few weeks, I'm going to be transforming this car into an M140. Now I bet you're thinking, what? Well, here's the plan. Now I'm going to be tackling this build in 4 phases. In phase 1, we're stripping everything on the base car. We're going to be giving the front end a modern look with an M2 retrofit. In phase 2, I'm heading out to get a parts car and you're going to see all of that. But in phase 3 is where it gets serious. I'm going to be fitting that all important B58 engine, wiring loom, new LCI rear lights, and then we're fitting all M140 running gear. Once all the hardware has been fitted, I've got to code and program everything before moving on to phase 4, where we're going to be molding in some M2 rear quarters. Now remember guys, I've done this all before on my 118 to M140 conversion build, and this is it. Fast and easy, right? But this build is gonna be full of headaches, ups and downs, and you're gonna be seeing it all. There's gonna be a ton of work, but if I can pull it off, I'm sure that Ricky's gonna be a very happy boy. Alright guys, so we got the car in the garage, and you know what else we got in the garage? Or should I say who else we've got in the garage? Man like Ricky.
Come on,
what do you say?
Man.
Cool, brother. So you drop the car down, you know what we're gonna do, but they don't know what we're gonna be doing.
It's a very ambitious build, man.
Yeah.
I want to hit 7s, innit? I
Sevens.
want 7s in the quarter.
Oh.
Bro, look, I'm aiming high.
Yeah.
But if we go deep 8s, I'm happy. Do you know what I mean? But yeah,
It sounds mental,
I'm bringing
bro.
the car to you because
Yeah.
the car needs to look 10-10.
100%.
More than 10-10, it needs to be prepped for a B58.
Yeah.
So obviously it's a 114i.
Yeah.
I've seen your project.
Yeah.
Car looks sick.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just do the same, man.
See guys, what we're doing is getting out there. If you haven't seen the build, I had a 118i, I converted it onto an M140 platform, and that car was sick. I ended up raffling that car off, and the new owner is enjoying it. Ricky, you saw that build,
Yeah.
and you brought a 114 down. And another thing is, look, this is a manual car. We're going to be swapping it to automatic.
Yeah.
We're going to be getting rid of all this pre-LCI stuff. We're going to be facelifting it on the interior, but we got something special for the exterior, right?
So we're going full M2 competition conversion, not just front bumper headlights. We're doing rear arches.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing rear arches. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Rear bumper and rear arches.
Yeah.
So we need as much traction as possible.
For sure.
So yeah, you're the plug, bro.
Yeah,
You're gonna bless.
Bruv, I'm definitely gonna bless you, and I want to see what you do with it once it's all done. So
Yeah, no, this is gonna be sick, man. I'm very excited. This is gonna be a serious project.
you're gonna do some more stuff as well, right?
What do you mean, engine work and
Yeah.
stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going like a fully built B58 engine.
Spot on.
We're talking everything, bro. Like the whole catalogue.
Gonna be crazy.
Big turbo, forward drive.
I'm just happy to be a part of it. Man. I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Come on.
I'm glad that you reached out.
No, man.
And I feel privileged to be doing this. Speaking of privilege, you were quite privileged to get your hands on all of these.
I've got everything. The guy looked after me.
Yeah.
So we're talking brackets, we've got the slam panel, we've got front wings. You're sorting out the arches, right?
Yes.
We also got the side skirts.
Yeah.
So you're saying we've got to shorten these, right?
Yeah, so these side skirts come up a little bit too long from the M2 onto the M140 platform. So we're going to be shortening these, and we're going to be getting these situated to fit onto this car, no problem. We got competition headlights. If you remember on my build, I just done the LCI headlights, but we're going one step further. We got comp headlights, M2 comp rear bumper, M2 competition wings. Have a look at this. This is gonna give the car a nice wide stance on the front. I was telling you off camera that these are gonna mount up exactly the same. Once we get all of these mounted up, we're gonna mold everything together and everything should go together quite nicely.
We're doing a B58 swap into a 114i. The idea behind it is, bro, it's so much cheaper.
Definitely.
Like if I bought M140, the car would have got ripped apart.
For sure.
You can see what we're doing now.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're talking 2 grand versus 20 grand for an M140.
Yeah.
I've now got an additional £15,000.
Yeah, to pump into the performance side of things.
Yeah,
definitely.
And you, like from your videos, the M140 is based on this car anyway.
For sure, 100%.
Everything.
Guys, I proved it, I showed it to you, and I'm gonna show it to you again. The chassis comes off the production line exactly the same, and they go on to all the different versions of the F series, including the M140, 135s, they're all the same chassis. So
we're going forward drive, so we're gonna be changing front and rear subframes anyway.
Spot on.
So yeah, this is gonna be
Spot on.
It's gonna be quick.
So the whole plan for me is we're gonna have this car ready for you to take it away and fit your custom built M140
just needs to be
engine,
plug and play.
B58 engine.
Yeah, we've got a donor car, right?
Yeah.
Got a donor M140,
Yeah.
so we just need to be able to send this car to my shop and just have the engine installed basically.
100%, bro.
And it will be coded, wired up.
Brother, I'm gonna look after everything. Everything's gonna be sorted. By the time you come back to take this car, all of that stuff is gonna be done.
No, I appreciate it, man. Loved it.
No worries,
And
bro.
anyone that's following from my channel, make sure to subscribe. Salvage Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, you've been putting the work in.
I've been trying, man. I've been trying.
Just keep on it, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it, man.
It will happen soon.
It's a good look, I appreciate it.
Cool.
All right, thank you.
Bless.
So whilst Ricky was at the garage, I went ahead and I showed him some of our previous builds. Here's our M4 which we rebuilt on the channel a while back, but Akil's just upgraded the exhaust. Check it out. Crazy, okay.
No, it's all big one.
Big cojones, yeah?
Big one,
Yeah, okay, I see you. Here's our Stage 2 M6, Aston Martin DB11. You can't forget the Audi R8 build. If you haven't seen any of these builds, go check it out in my playlist. So guys, you've seen the plan. My guy Ricky's about to leave, but this is where the real work starts. We're about to get started, stripping everything down. I'll see what I can get through in this video. It's already dragged on a bit, but we're getting straight to work. Let's go. So now it's time to strip down this old pre-facelift 114i. We need to get everything stripped to the bare shell, and I'm starting with the front end. First, we're tackling the top of the bumper before jacking the car up, and then there's a ton of stuff underneath that we need to loosen. But first, these wheels, and it seems like these wheels have not been removed in quite some time. Check this out. That's how you do it. You want to be rude? Take that. With the wheels finally off, we're removing all the plastic, splash guards, and we can continue to loosen everything on the bottom end of this front bumper. With the front bumper removed, this is what we were left with, and I'm gonna go ahead and continue to strip down everything on the internals in preparation for removing the front slam panel. Now pay close attention to these giant bolts which I'm removing. I'm going to be replacing this front slam panel, which is a PRE-LCI, with a BMW M2 competition front slam panel, and you're going to see how it all slots together. But first I've got to remove these rad supports, this airbox, and a ton of other miscellaneous parts, so just enjoy these shots. After draining the coolant system, I was finally able to remove all the coolant hoses, and I'm going to be removing the front slam panel, rad support, headlights as one giant unit. After all, it's all about working smarter and not harder. And there you go, this is the first major step. As you can see, we've got the front of the engine exposed. I'm going to be digging into that even further, but this is the front slam panel, rad pack, everything off the car. Next up, I've got to remove even more plastics, more screws, more nuts and bolts. Both front wings are coming off. Like I said, we're doing the M2 front end conversion, and this is all the work that is necessary to make that happen. With everything off the front end of the car, this is what we're left with. I want you to pay close attention to the chassis. I'm going to be explaining that in a minute. So without too much hassle, I've gone ahead and I've stripped down the front end on the car. You can see that both wings are off, and in this episode as well, so you need to watch to the end, I'm going to be giving you a preview of the M2 wings. I want to see how it looks. I'm going to give you the opportunity to start to see the vision that we're going for, but I want to just prove a few more things to you as well, because we all know that M2 wings fits onto an M140, but this is a pre-LCI 114i. Do you think M2 wings are going to fit straight? I think they're going to fit because I said it before, the chassis is exactly the same, and I'm going to prove it. So before I show you everything else, let me grab one of the wings and see if it's going to line up. Watch this. M2 wing, and it's an M2 comp, so it's more aggressive. Even on this pre-facelift car, I can see that is lined up right there. I'll put the screw in, I'll put a screw in. Look, everything is just lining up perfectly. Have a look at that. And then this one, this is the last one right here. And guys, take a look at this now. Completely lined up perfectly. There's even one more screw right here. And just like that, guys, we've got an M2 wing onto a pre-LCI F20 shell. A lot of you guys keep asking, the proof is in the pudding. Keep watching this series, we're gonna be retrofitting even more. Let's close this down. This is the actual bonnet from the M2 as well. And as you can see, everything, obviously we can work on the lines a little bit more, but everything is lining up exactly as it should. So now that you've seen that, I've got one more thing to show you. Now guys, I went ahead and I fitted this passenger side wing as well. Now look at these brackets. Like I said, the chassis is the same, but what BMW did is they made longer brackets, like these little ones here, a little bit longer on the M series, obviously because the wing flares out ever so slightly, and that's the difference that we're talking about right there. If you can see that, that is meant to be in, that's probably ½ an inch, and that makes all the difference. But luckily we've got these tabs here to swap out, and that's gonna give us a nice, broad, wider fit on the front for the new wings. And I guess what I'll do is I'll grab the bumper, and just to wrap up the video, I'll give you a little preview of what everything's gonna look like. Now those brackets are simply screwed onto the chassis with some 10mm bolts. All I had to do is remove them, and I was able to swap them out. Now have a look at the size difference. As you can see, the M2 versions are a little bit longer. That's because the M2 front end is a little bit wider. With the new brackets in place, everything lined up perfectly, everything slotted together perfectly, so I went ahead and I repeated the same process on the other side. Now we're super early in this build, but I just wanted to make a few adjustments just to make that body gap look as good as possible, and have a look at it. Everything went on to this pre-facelift chassis perfectly. With both wings on the car, I want to go ahead and do one more thing, and it's very interesting, so check this out. So here is the front slam panel that I removed from the car. This is our M2 front slam panel. Literally, it's almost identical, and the only difference, guys, is they've added a lot more support. So they've welded on this little bit on the top. Have a look here, there's nothing there. And on the inside, that brace right there is just a lot more robust. That's the one you get on the M cars compared to the two little flimsy ones that you get on the regular road cars. But other than that, everything else is identical on both of these, and I'm gonna prove it right now because I'm gonna just do a test fit on the M2 front slam panel on this pre-LCI 1 series. Do you remember earlier on I told you pay close attention to some giant bolts? That was easy. Now it's time to see if they're actually gonna fit. Of course it's gonna fit. All the bolts have gone in and it's slotted together identically. And now we have a BMW M2 competition front slam panel on our PRE-LCI F21 chassis. Guys, you know I've done the wings and the bonnet. I just done a quick test fit of all the other bits on the front end, and this thing's looking spicy. Check it out. So I received Ricky's BMW 114i like this, but now this thing looks like an absolute beast of a BMW M140i/M2 mashup. Whatever you want to call it, the M2 front end on this 1 Series looks amazing.
Look at the squad, we're up in the front line, look at the car. Look at the car. New whip, yeah. Can't wait till we rich, yeah. No, it's gonna take time, yeah. Don't trip, yeah. I remember being broke, never having nothing else to my name. I remember when no one believed in me, now they say I'm a star like Billie Jean. I wanna make love in the Benz, I wanna make love.
Guys, just take a look at this car and it's only episode 1. How's that for a first episode? Guys, just make sure, listen, do me a favor, just make sure you're subscribed, man. 75% of my viewership come from people who are not subscribed, and it's killing the channel. Like, we're bringing you great content. This build is gonna be something special. When I done my previous conversion, I used a lot of used parts, copy parts, and parts that were imported. These are all official BMW parts, and I'm learning so much. Like those little brackets, I just love learning new things, and I wanna show you all of those new things as well. So make sure you're subbed, make sure your bells are on, because I'm gonna be dropping regular content on this car. This is the first episode. We met Ricky, we got the car, showed you the parts, stripped down the front end, rebuilt the front end with the M2 front. Man, it's crazy. In the second episode, we're gonna be tackling the rear end, and then I'm gonna be moving on to the interior. Later on in the series as well, we need to get a donor car, because there's a ton of other little bits and bobs, modules, wiring, etc., that we need, and I'm gonna be showing you how I'm going about getting all of those bits. And by the time I'm done with this car, hopefully this should be driving off this ramp with a B58 engine and M140 essence flowing through its veins. If that sounds appealing to you, stick around, but this is where we're gonna head off. I'll see you in episode 2, or I'll see you on my R8 or some other build, but I'll definitely see you. So like I always say, keep it moving, and I'll see you in the next one. In the next episode, I turned my attention to the rear end. We dropped that old busted engine, but we've got some issues. I've just got some news. The news that I just received could derail this entire build. Guys, don't forget my 50k sub giveaway. I'm sending 1 lucky subscriber and their families over to Mercedes-Benz World free of charge. They're gonna get to experience off-roading in a Mercedes G63, but the entire family also gets a second ride in a Mercedes G63. It's gonna be the ultimate day out for you and your family, and all you need to do is subscribe. It is free. And once I get to 50k subscribers, I'll be choosing 1 subscriber at random.